Subaru came to this country in the late 70s with a range of small cars and estates featuring four-wheel drive.
Just my luck, we've chosen one of the worst days of the year to test the new Legacy. 90-mile-an-hour winds out there and the road surface is fairly streaming with water, but it does illustrate what advantages permanent four-wheel drive and anti-lock brakes have. People say, well, I don't need four-wheel drive, I never go off the road. Believe you me, on a day like this, you need both those things for security on the road, especially when branches blow off trees in front of you like that. The Legacy has a very sophisticated automatic transmission, and there's not many cars with four-wheel drive and automatic, and that's one of the major appeals of the car. It has an economy device which shifts the change points of the transmission. It's also got a push button on the lever here to enable you to hold lower gears right up to the high 6,500 rev limit.
Power is continuously varied between front and rear axles according to road conditions, with a computer controlling the distribution of grip. But don't be overawed by all this technology. When you're driving, it's very smooth and seems to roll freely along. One's certainly not aware of all those drive shafts and constant velocity joints spinning around. It sounds complicated to describe, but it's simplicity to drive. Anti-lock brakes are standard, again with computer control. Quite a comfortable car, the Legacy. There's plenty of room and the seats are broad and supportive. There's plenty of headroom, especially for a Japanese car. The steering wheel is adjustable for height, and so is the seat. It's got a rather cramped lever down here that gives you quite a wide range of movement. Quite a generous boot on the Legacy and a low sill, but the actual floor of the boot is quite high, and that cuts down on the available space. Obviously the spare wheel lives under there and you've got to unload everything if you do get a puncture. And it's strange for a vehicle that's so comprehensively equipped. There doesn't seem to be a light in the boot here at all. But under the bonnet is a very interesting engine. It's a flat 4 engine. That means there's 2 cylinders this side, 2 cylinders that side, and a central crankshaft. 2.2 litres, it develops 134 brake horsepower, but more important, it's got a very smooth delivery of power from 2,000 right round to 5,000 RPM. Now the new Daihatsu Applause. Now at first glance you'd think this was a conventional booted saloon, but in fact this is quite a complicated hatchback rear door. Quite why they've done it, I don't know, because you lose the space that you would have had from a conventional rounded door. One of the unique things about the Applause, the rear seats recline. That's presumably so your passengers can go to sleep on the move or whatever you do with your rear seat passengers. But once the seats are returned to the normal position, they then fold up as in a conventional hatchback to give you an estate car configuration. Daihatsu isn't an especially familiar name in Britain as a saloon car manufacturer. The company's better known for their four-wheel drive off-road models. But the launch of Applause pitches it in direct competition with cars like Ford's Orion, Volvo's 340 and Peugeot's 309. It wins a round of applause for being fitted as standard with a catalytic converter and thus runs only on lead-free petrol. And it compares favourably on passenger and load space against the competition. It's powered by a 1.6 litre fuel-injected 16-valve unit that really seems to thrive on revs. It's fitted as standard with power steering that is very nicely weighted and enables you to place the car quite precisely on the road. The road holding is very good, although the ride is a bit harsh for my taste. The car tops 115 miles an hour flat out and hits 0 to 60 in under 10 seconds. Japanese engineers always make sure their controls and switchgear feel just right, and the Applause is no exception. But in a way, that's one of the car's problems. It's very competent, but it doesn't exactly stand out from the crowd.